Oh noes, hellos, and welcome back to another top 10 videos. Oh yes, I said it this time. And today we'll be taking a look at Fallen Empire. And yeah, just an empire that's fallen basically, and this set pretty much kind of explains how it's just fallen. There are some good cards, some bad cards, but mostly some bad ones. Honestly, you won't be seeing a lot of like good, powerful cards. You'll be seeing like kind of some niche cards, mostly funguses, which we'll get into in a little bit after done explaining each of the funguses and fungi. They're fungi, you idiot. Yes, each of the fungi. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. And number 10 is just going to be simple. It's going to be the first fungus on this list. And you're not going to be seeing the last of this fungus. There's more fungus among us. This is a terrible joke. But it's called Thaliid. If you guys have heard of this card's played probably in some fungus EDH deck, probably. Oh, yes. And it's just one green for fungus creature, 1/1. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thaliid. Why is this good, you might ask? Well, all fungi do this sort of thing in pretty much Magic. I don't know why they're kind of slow when it comes to creating tokens. But then you remove three spore counters from said Thaliid and put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield. Oh, how impressive! And why this got number 10? Well, I just thought it was efficient enough to actually make the list. So yeah, I just put it on the list for that reason. Pretty much. That's pretty much the only reason. Okay, let's probably move on to the next card because yeah, it's gonna get pretty boring. But it will get more interesting when we get farther down the list. Trust me. Because at number 9 we have Merc. I don't know how to even say this, but yeah, Mercentine. I don't even care. It's two blue blue for an enchant creature, which is probably just an enchant era. Back in the day, back in the good old days, they called it that. But okay, so what does this do? Uh, Clearly looks like that guy's naked in the picture. I'm not gonna lie, but now I'm seeing the tail thing. A merman? Okay. Well, let's just go with that. So you put three net counters on whatever when it's brought into play, and then basically you target. Basically, you attach this to a creature, and it does not untap as it doesn't untap basically. Um, but yeah, they may pay the creature's casting cost to remove a net counter. So it's kind of like Heliod's punishment, but even more, punishing on your opponent. So if they got a big Eldrazi in play, you could just smack this son of a gun onto it, and they have to pay 10, 11, 12 mana just to untap the goddamn thing. Like, yeah, that's pretty bad when it's like kind of like efficient, but at the same time, it's like other removal. You could just like get rid of it. And if you put it on a mana dark, big whoop, they could just pay the one. It's not a big deal. Um, so it's really a situational card. I put this on the list because it's I kind of like those type of effects where uh, you can't untap the creature. Although I like it when they're tapped already on the card. Besides of just you know if it has vigilance, well then doesn't really do anything, does it? Not a damn thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that card. And number 8, we got an interesting one. You guys all saw this coming. You probably did. You probably did. This is what the set is all about, and it's stupid. But whatever, because I hate fungi. And it's Night Soil. Yeah, Night Soil. Kind of generic name, not gonna lie. It's basically a green green for an enchantment, and what you could do is remove two creatures in any graveyard. So you can use your opponent's and yours. I like that card for that reason, honestly. And you could put a 1/1 green creature. This should have an oracle text to say a fungus creature though, so I think they fixed that. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, a 1/1 green creature, which should be a fungus. Uh, it's okay. I mean, it's very efficient, card removal. Like there's a lot of cards that do this, like Scavenging Ooze. That's probably the best example of a good ass graveyard removal type of card. So if you're talking like graveyard removal efficiency, this is a pretty good card. Although there's Scavenging Ooze now, so yeah, maybe you won't need it that much. So, ooh, if you guys like fungi, gotta get this card. It's really good. I sounded super weird. Oh my goodness. I'm never going to speak like that again. All right, let's move on to the next one. And yeah, this set was also about goblins, so we'll also be getting into some goblins as well. There's a lot of good goblin cards, and there's maybe not so much good of goblin cards. Did I even say that right? Man, my speech is just stupid. All right, and so here's what we have at number 7. It's Goblin Churgeon. So yeah, what does this do exactly? Well, it's 1 red for a 0/2. Eh, so that's already pretty bad as itself, but it's a pretty okay blocker. You can sacrifice a goblin and regenerate target creature. Okay, so that's actually not that bad. I mean, you could sacrifice itself to regenerate something as well. So that's actually pretty good. But, there is a catch. You kind of have to play a lot of goblins. And if it did say any creature, and regenerate target goblin, this would actually like be a little bit better, but it's the other way around. But I there's a lot of goblin cards, so I put it on the list just because of like you can get yourself out of a jam saving your best creatures on the field and just sacrificing your not so good ones. And that's actually pretty good in a Kranko deck. Oh yes, that's really good in a Kranko deck. Just keep sacrificing, yeah, just it's just mad. Although this is a free sacrifice outlet, and you know what I say about free sacrifice outlets, they're broken. So just to get value out of this, yeah, pretty broken. Not gonna lie. All right, at number 6, we're gonna get into a common theme here, which is this tribal stuff, and it's Spore Flower. Now in the artwork, it's actually kind of one word, but they fixed this in a oracle. Um, Oracle. They fixed this in later cards, but I don't even think this was reprinted, so I don't even know. There's just like an updated version online, but this is the only one I found. So it's green for a summon fungus. That sounds weird. Wait, what the heck? Is that even a fungus? That looks like a human. Oh, okay, let's just keep going. It's a 0/1 for it's a 0/1 for 2 green. God dang it, can I speak? Alright, and during your upkeep, you may put a spore counter on Spore Flower. Now, this is interesting. So, what you can do is remove 3 spore counters from Spore Flower. No creatures deal damage in combat this turn. So, you basically get a fog. And that's actually kind of good in a fungus deck. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of situations that come up when they're just flooding with creatures, and this is a good way to kind of just mitigate that and say, nope, my fungus are going to be among us pretty soon. I got to stop using that. God damn it. Okay, this just turned into a cringe fest, but let's just admire that this is kind of like a repeatable, well, not a repeatable fog effect, but, it could be, in that one situation, a great fog effect. And you know how much I love Spore Frog. I love that card. Spore Flower is kind of its little brother, but it's a fog deck. It's still pretty useful sometimes. I mean, you never know what you might see. And to be honest, I put this on the list because I didn't find any other good cards. So I'm just putting this in for filler. So yeah, basically it's just a great card, really good card. You guys should get it. And number 5, let's move on to the more of the freaking tribals, the fungi, the weird enchantment cards. And here speaking of enchantment cards, here's another enchantment card that's actually pretty good. So this is Goblin Wardrobe. It's 2 and a red, and it's an enchantment, of course. And basically, let me just read the oracle text here. Basically, each attacking creature has menace. Basically, um, and it's you control, of course. So it's not every. So this is actually pretty good in a goblins deck. You can also put it in a rush down, beat down deck, a fungus deck if you really want to, like John Fungus or something. I don't even know. Just any tribal deck would kind of be all right with this. Of course, it's in red though, but you probably have to be more aggro. So it's actually a pretty solid card. I mean, if you get menace on all your creatures, you're probably going to win the game if you have a lot of freaking like tokens. And all of them have menace. Oh yeah, you're definitely like winning that battle. They have to destroy this, or else you're just gonna pull straight ahead. It's just a really efficient card for 3 mana, and it's just like it's crazy how many tribes there are in Magic now. So you can like make human decks out of this. You can make like freaking vampires. You can make like Edgar Markov. I love this. I mean, just so much stuff you can do with this card in tribal decks, and I don't know why more people are not playing it. It's a pretty good card for what it does. So, yeah, definitely put this in your EDH deck somewhere. It's really, really nice. And at number 4, I kind of have some storage lands. There was actually a storage land cycle in this set, and it's actually pretty interesting. So it does come into play tapped. This we're just gonna read Bottomless Vault. This was one of the storage lands, and so you may choose or not choose to untap Bottomless Vault. And during your untap phase, and instead put it so I don't know why it says that. Instead, put a charge counter on it, and then basically you can remove any number of storage counters. Okay, it says storage counters. The Oracle text is confusing me. All right, storage counters from Bottomless Vault, and for each storage counters, add black to your mana pool. So just you can get a crap ton of mana out of nowhere, and you can just keep this in the game for as long as you want, maybe. And why I put Bottomless Vault on here instead of like other storage lands is because black loves a lot of mana. You got your Torment of Hailfire, you got your Exsanguinate, you got a new card, Erebos Intervention. You got a bunch of cards to play around with this. Combine this with Cabal Coffers and Urborg, you got yourself a crap ton of mana. And in black, this would actually be pretty good in a black deck. Don't underestimate this card. This card can get out of control. Play this turn 1, you can get a crap ton of mana out of it. Just insane, It's just, I don't know why people don't like play these cards, and I think it's like it's just baffling. Maybe it's hard to find. I don't know. But yeah, but it's still see plays in EDH, so yeah, it's probably good at number 4, honestly. But you know what doesn't see play in EDH and is a really good staple card in Goblin decks on Modern? It's Goblin Grenade at number 3, yes. And look at that artwork. Oh, that just shows like just Anagba basically. Oh my goodness. It's just, this is great. This is great. So it's just yeah, 1 mana sorcery, and all you have to do is sacrifice a goblin, and you deal 5 damage to target creature or player. That's more than like lightning bolt. So is this better than lightning bolt? Probably not, because you have to sacrifice a goblin. You can only play this at sorcery speed. And who in the right mind would want to play this if you could just play lightning bolt? You could just do it at any time. There's no repercussions. So yeah. But at a cost for a goblin, this deals 5 damage to anything. That's just crazy. I mean, that's just too efficient. And a lot of goblin decks like to play this because they get instant damage because they always bring out a lot of goblins. And what they could do with this is they can actually just flat out swing and just play this unexpectedly, and your opponent won't expect it because they don't expect 5 damage. They always want to, hold up their defense. And they'll be like, okay, you can't really kill me this turn. And I'm like, nope, Goblin Grenade. Perfect. No one would see that coming. It would just be like out of the blue. And yeah, this card still sees play in Goblin decks in Modern. There's some. It's kind of a niche deck though, but it sees Modern play. So hey, I put this at number 3 just because of that. And at number 2, probably the biggest, baddest black card of them all when it comes to discarding, it's Hymn to Torok. Oh yes, I absolutely hate this card. So it's black and a black. So we've been noticing a lot of just black, black, green, green, blue, blue. Yeah, the devotion is real. But this devotion doesn't play around, boy. It's a 2 mana sorcery and target player discards 2 cards at random. It's no joke. It's pretty good. I mean, turn 2, goddamn. You got some good cards in your hand. You got some really good cards in your hand. And you're all like, wow, they just discarded 2 lands. What am I supposed to do now? Huh? Am I supposed to just play this out? Because don't underestimate this card. This card says discard 2 cards at random, but random could be a land, random could be a creature, that can also be a planeswalker, a sorcery, an instant. It could be anything. Now, if it said non-land cards, then that'd be different. This wouldn't be that bad, but nope. It's 2 black mana. Like, Jesus. And people call this probably the best black discard spell of all time. Maybe even the best discard spell of all time. I mean, there's Thoughtseize, but I mean, just 2 mana, discard 2 cards at random. That hurts a lot. That can screw up your mana advantage. That can screw up your, you know, your your mana base. That can screw up a lot of things for you. And people actually would play this just because of how efficient it was. Now there was also cards called Mind Twist. Of course, there's those cards, but this card is just beyond broken. Just 2 black, turn 2. You're gonna win if they discard lands. You're just gonna win, and that's why this card's kind of broken because of that reason. You never know what you're gonna discard from your opponent. So it's just crazy. I don't even know. I mean, it was so close to being number one, but I actually gave the edge to number one, and you'll see why. You'll see why I gave. I'll give this card the edge to number one. So number one, maybe no surprise to anyone, maybe no surprise to me. It's High Tide, and it's 1 blue for this god awful degenerate instant for until end of turn. All islands produce an additional blue when they're tapped for mana. Holy crap. If you just wanted to win the game with Jace, there you go. Draw to your heart's content. Pull from tomorrow or freaking Blue Sun Zenith your way to victory, basically. So, what can you do with all this mana? Well, you could probably put it into a time spiral. Yeah, that's something. You could probably put it into, I don't know, just, you know, an omniscience. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What's next? What next? I could summon the Leviathan. Nobody expect that but me. That would be me, honestly, because I would love playing those type of decks that are kind of just no one expects. Bring out a big ass Leviathan from a high tide. The lore. It's not really the lore, but it's you know what I mean. So yeah, the flavor, I guess. So why did I put this at number one and not, him to Taraka number one? Well, I give this to number one because it was actually played in some busted decks in Urza's block. This combined with the bunch of like Stroke of Geniuses and Time Spirals made this a busted card, and there was actually a deck called like High Tide decks, basically High Tide combo decks. What they would do is actually take advantage of High Tide and just keep casting a bunch of spells until you basically milled your opponent by casting a Stroke of Genius on them to mill them out. And basically, High Tide actually had to get banned pretty quickly because of how busted it was. And imagine playing like 2 or 3 of these, and like it wasn't restricted or anything. You could play as many as you want. Now people have mentioned, okay, it's all islands, so your opponent, if he has islands, can also tap the mana for an extra blue. Well, here's the thing about that. Blue is so good at like sticking with priorities and stuff. They'll be like, in response, I'll cast a counter spell. You know what? In response, I cast draw spell, brainstorm. Okay, I counter it now. Not so fast. I bounce it like, come on. Why did you give a mana doubler to blue? Ridiculous. Like, what were they thinking? when they printed this card. Even in the old days, okay, there was mana burn, sure, but when you cast High Tide, you were going to end the game pretty much there. Because they would always cast a Time Spiral, untap their lands, rinse and repeating basically. And it would just never end. And that is going to be it for Fallen Empire. Basically, there was a couple of cards that were broken, but overall, it was a fair set. But High Tide, yeah, just broken as hell. And Turok, man, was that just a busted card for black decks. So you could see that there were some weak cards in the set and some that were just OP. You can call this kind of the, I guess, the brawl of the Super Smash Brothers brawl set of the olden days. Because, High Tide was like the Meta Knight, while him, the Turok, was the Ice Climbers. No one gets that? Okay. I'm sorry I even said that. Anyways, that's going to be it for today or tonight, guys. I hope to see you guys for the next episode, hopefully, if I'm not lazy enough. And I'll see you guys in the next videos or streamios or whatever yos I do. Bye and peace.